Kenny, can you hear us?
I sure can, and it sounds good. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Um, Secretary White, do you want to begin with roll call? Okay, yeah, sorry. Waiting, could everyone who's a senator please scooch up to at least first three rows? Sorry to make y'all move, but it'll just make it easier on us.
All right. So, Senator Bergera, Senator Gesso, okay. Senator Bevel, Senator Morris,
Present.
Senator Ontiveros, Senator Ochiocha. It's not here. Okay. Senator Lubale, Senator Arantes, Senator Sneed, Senator Coburn, Senator Seeley, Senator Goldthorpe, Senator Yezik, Senator Utah. That's Longview. Okay. Are they on there? No. Senator Meyer, Senator Taylor, Senator Ramirez, Senator Hawley, Senator Orajaka, Senator Marcel, Senator Szilard, Senator Williams, Senator Larsenair, Senator Guerrera, Senator Lopez, and Senator Benacourt. Is there more? Senator Munoz. Oh, I can't read that last one. Senator Medina. Okay. Senator Parchman. Do I need to do a board? Okay.
Green means go, right? Yeah. All right. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to read my email. I sent out an email to all the senators this afternoon. And so to make sure that I'm officially on the record for the minutes, I am going to read that email. And so that way it's officially recorded. So for today's agenda, I am going to slightly alter it a little bit. As outlined in Article 9B1, as of 1 p.m. today, I have received 4 official SGA appeals regarding the actions of SGA this past Tuesday. And in order of submission, they were President Okafor, Senator Ezak, Vice President Page, and former Treasurer Barnes. They all 4 submitted appeals. While each one had uniqueness to the appeal, I have identified a common theme in which it was reported that senators who were not sworn in or general students participated in one or more parts of the official SGA meeting last week. After confirming this information as valid, I have decided to move forward with the appeal process. This is to ensure that the integrity of SGA is upheld and the actions conducted by SGA are done correctly. Therefore, I am making 2 decisions regarding the appeal. Tuesday, September 9th, 2025 is considered null and void with the exception to the information shared during speaker's podium. That information should be included in the minutes at today's meeting under the speaker podium section. This means everything that was discussed last week should be conducted again, pending your own approval. To ensure that this is done correctly, I am altering number 3 on the agenda, which is the swear-ins. Instead of new senators only being sworn in, I would like for President Okafor to administer the oath to everyone. This will ensure we do not miss anybody. And I believe these actions will not only correct the issues, but will instill confidence in the actions moving forward. Of course, per your rules, my decision can also be appealed. And so can send that in writing, but hopefully that will solve all of the concerns that y'all have. Any questions? Okay. All right. So before we get started, we do have a special guest. And so at this time, I'm going to ask our new provost, Dr. Haas, to come on up to do an official welcome.
And you couldn't hear you.
Well, good afternoon. I'm honored to be here. I'm crashing your meeting. I wasn't invited, but Dr. Swain told me your meeting. I thought, oh, it's a chance to come and say hello and introduce myself. I am the provost here, which is your chief academic officer as of July 9th. So still fairly new in the role, but would very much like to work with the SGA and hear your concerns, your ideas. But that will be for another time when I'm invited back to spend some time, okay? So Victoria can take care of that, and I really look forward to meeting with you and, again, hearing your ideas and how we can make this a vibrant, wonderful campus and a great student experience for every student on campus. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Victoria asked if I could explain what I do. I'm still figuring that out. No, I honestly, as the chief academic officer, basically anything related to academics. So there's the student experience, when Josh and all that he does, those sorts of issues, but then I'm everything academic. So all the deans, the library, admissions, enrollment, registrar, institutional assessment, graduate school, Office of Sponsored Research, all of that reports to me. And there's probably some others I forgot off the top of my head, but it's all things that are related to academics on campus. come up through the Office of Academic Affairs. And I have a great team, one of them being Dr. Swain, who's with you this evening. So she'll tell you more about what she does, I'm sure. Okay, is that enough, Victoria? All right. And I'll talk more another time. Thank you for letting me.
Okay, we'll resume with Senator swear-ins. So may everyone please rise. Okay. I ask that you just repeat after me and then with the blanks, fill in your position and your name. Okay. So I insert name,
I, Kendrick Morris,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body
that I shall faithfully represent the interest of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution
and the bylaws of the Student Government Association
and bylaws of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of insert position
while ardently executing the office of UT School of Nursing Senator
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Swain, for your patience. Will you please come up and present?
Well, honestly, this is the first time I have been in this room. And I have been here since fall of 2012. So good for you for having me here in this room. I am so excited that I get to work with Provost Haas. You just got to meet her, and we are a team that is excited about making sure that we support students, that we have really great educational experiences for you, and that we make an impact on East Texas. What is important to me in life, what is my purpose? What is my why? It is to improve the human condition through higher education. There's an old author I like to read, and I'm old, and so I read old people. But Stephen Bailey talks about there's a lot of suffering in the world, but education, broadly conceived, can take care of that. And so that is why I am so passionate about student success. And I know it makes a difference. And when a student drops out, I take it personally. I really do. And when you fail my class, I take it personally. It hurts my feelings. I was the same way when I taught a million years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth in the 80s. But y'all were, not born, most of you. So it might as well have been when dinosaurs ruled the earth. I was teaching, and, when students failed then, I was very upset because I want you to be successful. Because you know what? When someone drops out, not only did I lose that student, but I feel like I lost that street. Because then someone goes out and says, higher education, it's not worth it. And that whole street might believe that. And that's not true. Just today, I read a report from Georgetown University, that's up in Washington, D.C., from the Center on Education and the Workforce. The U.S. needs 5.3 million more workers with college degrees by 2032. They need nurses, teachers, engineers, accountants, doctors, and managers. Those are some of the things they listed as this is what we need. So know that whatever you're majoring in, we need you to be successful. We need you to be successful. Oh, you have 1 star, so you're not, 2? Okay, whoop, level 2, all right. So you're not gonna be giving me my shot, my flu shot in a few weeks. Okay. So we are focused on making sure that our students have support to make it from semester to semester. We call that retention and persistence. Are you persisting to graduation? And one of the things that you can help us with is this notion that full-time is 12 credits. How many of you thought full-time was 12 credits? That's federal financial aid. What is it? Okay, I'm an old math teacher, but I'm not going to make you do that. 12 times 8 never is going to be, it's not going to make 120, is it? Never. 12 times 8, no matter how you do it, it's never going to be 120. But if you do 15 times 8, guess what that's going to be? 120. And guess what that means? You can graduate in 4 years. Every semester that you can cut off of your degree, moolah, because you know what? Our tuition is not expensive. People look at Texas tuition and they go, that's cheap. What accumulates, y'all, is fees, and honestly, that's, you can draw out fees. That's what kind of hurts you. So the longer you're going to school, the more fees you pay. When I was in my graduate program, I was teaching, so I was taking like 1 class a semester. I had the most expensive master's degree in history because I took 1 class per semester, took 1 class a night, or 1 class a term. So some of the things we are doing to help with affordability is we're trying to encourage. We know many of you work. We're not trying to discount that. We know you were busting your heinies. This university should have no heinies because everyone's busting it, trying to work and do everything. you know, to go ahead and pay for things. But we're going to start asking, hey, can you add another class to get 15 credits? Can you do that? Because a little sacrifice could add up to a lot of benefit for you. So we're starting to do that. But you will notice when you register in the spring, you're going to be able to sort in PeopleSoft and look and see which classes are low cost, means $50 or less for the course materials. That means textbooks and stuff, are no cost. And, you know, the provost office and I, you know, that's going to be quite a few individuals, but Provost Haas and I and others, we're really going, faculty, let's try to see if we can make courses as cheap as possible to take. Now, not cheap as in quality, but just inexpensive. We want it to be excellent, but inexpensive for you. So we're working on that. We're also, again, like I also said, trying, especially for undergraduates, because 15 times 8 is 120. Now, engineering majors, you have that 128, so you need to take a summer class every once in a while. But we can get that going so that you're out making money. And it's, you know, and it's worth it. So we're super excited about that. We are also, for our new freshmen, I like to call them first time in college students. For our incoming students, they're having a 0 credit class in the fall and the spring. In the fall, it's whatever college their major is. So it could be CAS G 1000 or nursing or NURS 1000. If they're in health, School of Health Professions, it's HECC 1000. So in the fall, it's that one. In the spring, it's a UNIV 1000. And we are teaching them things about growth mindset, because we all sometimes let negative thoughts take control over our mind. Because we have all gotten that grade before in class that just pulled the rug out from under us. And we let us, how many of you have ever spun yourself right into the ground? You know, haven't we all? I've even sat in a college class and cried on the front row because I worked so hard, and guess what I got? A D, just like Charlie Brown. A D. I worked so hard. The professor finally turned around and said, some of us are too upset about our grade, and we're not going to be able to understand today's lesson if we don't pull it together. You know, I passed that class with a C. I was so happy. But using a growth mindset, we're teaching them all about the resources on campus, because good students use resources. Making sure that they understand that office hours really means student hours, because faculty are here for students. Teaching them how to use AI as a thought partner. Teaching them how to help AI teach them, but also to recognize the hallucinations when it happens. We're also putting more and more into Academics 101. And if you want to know about Academics 101, if you just Google it on the UT Tyler website, It's self-adding. And so there's some stuff that says, one of them is what to do if you get a bad grade. How do you recover from that? So there's a lot of those kind of things in there. We're also doing academic coaching. That's individual one-on-one coaching with our incoming students, but actually we do it with any student. We're looking with the faculty at curriculum. We know that the outside world uses AI. And sometimes faculty forget that what the outside world calls productivity, we sometimes go crazy and call it cheating. So we're trying to wrap our brains around some things and think about, okay, the outside world wants you to be using AI. We need to put that in our curriculum. We need to make sure our curriculum is timely and relevant. And we need to let you know. Sometimes we know because we're like, of course, can't you see this is relevant when you go out in the field and do X, Y, and Z? But no, you don't have all the expertise we do. So we're going to try to be very explicit about when you go out and do this, you will see this. So we're working on that. I do have a favor I would like. If you are a senator who uses AI a lot, I would really love to have a senator lead a focus group for me. We'll have some starter questions that we'd love to get some answers about AI and how students are using AI. And then you can let it roll from there on what kind of questions you ask. But we'd love to get a student-led focus group on AI. And so if you're interested in doing that, you can email me, and I would love for you to do that because we need the help. You know, because like when I come in the room, they're like, oh, it's an old lady in the room. We're not talking to her. So, but good things are happening. Do you know UT Tyler has over 11,600 students this fall? You can tell, like when you go to Chick-fil-A, because all of those people are in front of you in line. But, you know, we are great. We are big, but we're also small enough that you can get to know each other. So I am very proud and honored and privileged to get to work with you. And I worked at some pretty neat universities, but you know what? They were so big, I didn't get to know people very well. And I love getting to know y'all. So you might have to tell me your name a couple of times because I am old. This is my 39th year of teaching. I started when I was 1. But, you know, we are here for you. And we want you to be more successful than we ever thought about being. And we want you to make a difference in East Texas and just do amazing things. What questions do y'all have for me? Yes, ma'am. C. Swain. Here, say that. Oh, I'm sorry. The question was my email, and it is cswain@uttyler.edu. So cswain@uttyler.edu. Oh, there it is. cswain@uttyler.edu. Thank you. And I look forward to working midnight breakfast. It's one of my favorite things to work. Worked with President Okafor. Was that spring or fall? I can't remember. Spring? Okay. I don't know. I always work them. It's one of them. Okay, other questions? Hey, I'm off to dinner. Thank you, hon.
To new business, I entertain a motion to speak on last General Assembly. Okay. So mostly we wanted to go over how last General Assembly went and kind of the reasons for the appeal process. So as we had people who were not sworn in a closed meeting and participating in the meeting, it was ruled unconstitutional. However, in our Constitution, we do not have a specific clause in there that goes over General Assembly meetings. So really the only course to kind of fix what happened last week was an appeal. And basically Josh went over that for those who kind of missed it in the beginning, but he ruled that the meeting, the agenda basically was null and void. So it's almost as it never happened except for speaker's podium, in which Jeff Noblet, Vice President of Marketing, came over here and spoke to us about town events coming up. And if you'd like to hear more information or grab a pamphlet, I have some right here. And we have a couple people who like to talk about last General Assembly. I mean, Vice President Page wasn't here, but he has a few words to talk about this.
Maybe. Is it? Oh, we're going to the pictures already? Oh, we can go back. So, for those of y'all that don't know me, my name's Tyler Page. I'm the vice president for the Student Government Association. How many of y'all are freshmen? Just show of hands. How many of y'all came to our table at Org Fair? Oh, not all y'all. I see you in the back. Why didn't you come by? No, but if y'all came to our table, you probably heard me kind of give my little spill. And one of my biggest things was I have stumbled, tumbled, and face planted my way kind of through college and into the positions I'm in today. So kind of what I want to talk to y'all about before we get into this larger discussion is failure and give y'all something to kind of reflect upon and consider. I've been a student here for a while now. I graduate this December. I'm a level 4 in nursing. I'm very ready to be done with nursing, but I'm excited. But that path hasn't been straightforward. I coasted through high school. I thought I was going to do the same thing through college. Hit like one of my first exams, right into that wall. Failed it. Thought I turned things around, made things better, coasted a little bit further. Failed again. Had things figured out. And then I got into the nursing program. And I knew what I was doing this time, of course, right? I first try. I was supposed to graduate 8 months ago. I wound up dropping level 1. And that was one of the hardest decisions that I felt I ever had to make because I felt that I failed. And I felt that whenever I repeated, there was a stigma against me because I failed. People thought I didn't know what I was doing at times. People thought, it was dangerous for, me to be in a clinical setting, having to, go through everything a second time. But that has been by far one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I'd like to go to what I consider my biggest failure. Tyler on the rocks. No, this is not a drink named after me. This was a week, 2 weeks, something like that, before my first ever swoop camp. This was a trip me and my group trained for months. I'm the one with the big old hat and the yellow backpack. This is Philmont, New Mexico. Any of y'all who were involved in Boy Scouts? Anybody? Oh, silence. That's awkward. I was. And this was the epitome of everything. It's a lottery system to get in. I mean, it was pure luck that we got to go. And we went on one of the hardest treks available. And this is where everything turned for the worst. This is a 2-week trip. This is day 3. And, this looks like a nice scenic view. 20 minutes after this, just about, we realized the situation we were in. And due to my decisions, due to my leadership, multiple of my friends who attended, there was my brother, my dad, luckily they did not, but multiple of my friends got hurt. And we wound up having to carry most of their stuff. We are in the middle of nowhere to the next camp and kind of drag them along with us and have them be medically evacuated because of decisions that I made, because of my failure. But, I think about this a lot. There's nothing I would have done differently, though. There's nothing I could have done differently because I made all the right decisions. And I still failed because sometimes life happens. And what I take away from this is that, failure is rough. Failure is, I hate that word because it implies that something is bad. But it's really more so a lesson to learn. And in that case, I want to go to that next picture, Tyler and Kenny. If that second name sounds familiar, he's on the Zoom right now. This was the greatest opportunity I was ever offered because of Student Government Association. Me and Kendrick had the opportunity to represent the UT Tyler School of Nursing at the American Association of Colleges of Nursing Student Policy Summit in Washington, D.C., where we spoke with senators and representatives to influence nursing policy on a national level. I shouldn't have been there. I don't know why they picked me for that. I really don't know. But I was. And I wouldn't have been there. I wouldn't be standing here. I probably wouldn't be at UT Tyler if it weren't for my failures along the way. And that's why I just want to emphasize that, it's okay to fail. We need to give grace for failure. We need to learn from failure. And do you want to present kind of what we're going to be talking about, or I can? Okay. So what we're going to be talking about is the GPA requirement as a whole. At this time, one of our e-board members is not meeting the GPA requirement. And it is a hardline cutoff for e-board, for justices, for senators. There is no, oh, you're only 1/100th of a point under. Let's talk about it. There is no, oh, we're only, you just, you failed one exam, GPA posted, you're under, you pass the next exam, GPA doesn't post again, and you're up. You're out. So kind of what I want to talk about today is 3 options. That we do nothing and leave it how it is. That we suspend this section 1.2a as a whole for everybody for the remainder of the semester, or this is all up for discussion. I'm going to open it up to the floor, or that we talk about what can be done differently to amend this at some point. So I know a lot of y'all are very fresh into student government, so this is a lot to talk about today, but I think today is the time. And I would like to invite kind of whoever to speak on any thoughts, or I'm kind of stalling at this point. I don't really know what I'm saying. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am the person in question. I am the executive board member who has fallen below the GPA requirement, the minimum, by 0.17 to be exact. That is my cumulative GPA. I'm going to be upfront and honest with y'all because I hold all of y'all very dear to my heart, as well as my position, and I want to take accountability and make sure that the air is clear for what's happening right now and why it's so important. When I was a freshman, I'm a sophomore, so this is my 2nd year here. When I was a freshman, I took a course that was not required for my degree plan, and that course was Calculus 2. Yes, raise your hand if you love Calculus 2. Oh, okay. So, when I was in Calculus 2, I had some difficulty not only learning the subject material, but adjusting to college as a first-time freshman. as well as accepting the fact that this course is not required for me to take. Because I was so new to the environment, I didn't know that I could do something called withdrawing from a course or dropping the course. Because I didn't know any of this information, I decided to brute force my way through it and really strive for the best I could, because that's genuinely the only option I thought I had. At the end of the semester, the fall semester, I came out of that class with a 68. Yeah, so likewise, that put a D on my transcript and absolutely plummeted my grade point, my cumulative grade point average. So my second semester here at UT Tyler, I was like, okay, like I've got to get it in gear. We can't have this happen again. It won't happen again. And I stood by that. And I passed my second semester with a B average. Additionally, I want to emphasize the importance of something that many people who go to college may affiliate themselves with, which is a GPA requirement required for a program that they're in rather than their cumulative GPA as a whole. I'm a nursing student. When I met with my advisor for the first time, I was introduced to a new form of vocabulary, that being something called the nursing GPA. And I was freaking out. I was sitting in that chair. I was crying. I'm a failure. What am I going to do? I have absolutely no way of redeeming myself. I might as well just leave. What's my purpose here? And my advisor was like, Allie, no, that's not true. Your nursing GPA is 3.43. And I said, how is that possible? She said, because that class that you took, that 68 you made, doesn't mean anything to you. There is no form of documentation regarding my nursing application that even gives me the ability to put that I made a D in Calculus 2. Regardless of this, I am now standing in front of you all to just explain and emphasize what Vice President Page is saying in regards to failure, and that it's okay to fail. And even more so, you should use that as your spark to get yourself back and to really go for what you know you can accomplish. I would not be able to stand here right now and talk to all of you wonderful people if that didn't happen to me. And so, whilst we're discussing the Constitution, just keep in mind that it's okay to have accidents and mistakes. They happen, and they're going to continue to happen outside of this room, as well as outside of college. And not everything is about that number that we hyperfixate on here. We are humans, we have a consciousness, and we deserve to feel valued for more than just a numerical number that's given to us. I have enjoyed my time as treasurer thus far. I had the opportunity to attend something called New Patriot Orientation. So, any of y'all who were at that, hey, good to see you again. And I met so many awesome and amazing kids, and I wouldn't have been able to attend any of that if I didn't push for excellence and understand that this number does not define my capabilities within the school system. It doesn't. And that goes for absolutely every single one of you. So I hope as we're discussing this that we take into consideration that Grace is something that is free, and it is something that every single one of us in this room need. And it's something that we're all going to have at one point or another. And right now, it is the student body at large pertaining to the Student Government Association at UT Tyler. So thank you.
Daniel Yezik. I am actually a graduate student here at UT Tyler, probably a little bit older than most of you in this room. Okay. So, what he said about mistakes in the first time through school and through college, I probably did a little bit of that too. But I'm back here now in a different capacity, in a different light. I was never interested in student government. I could have cared less about student government. But guess what? I ended up in the healthcare profession and realized that no matter where you go, government is involved in whatever you do. Okay? That's number one. Number two, has anyone in here been pulled over by a cop before? What if they took you straight to jail? Just, how about, I'm sorry? Okay. That is something that I think that we do really need to think about in this particular circumstance. It's not that someone was not qualified in order to come to this job and to do it. It's that something happened along the way. Okay. Also, some people show up in this room. You are here in this room. 20% of the people sometimes do 80% of the job. And to lose someone in this room that comes here in order to do what we do for the student body at UT Tyler is an honor, number one, a privilege, and people that we need. I've spoken with this lady in the student office. I called One Stop to the problem. And guess what? She went above and beyond to help me. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that a lot. Okay. So, in light of all of this, please take these into considerations as well. I know that we're all here for a reason. Let's do it well together. Thank you.
I got it. Oh, wait. It's gonna be him. But yeah. Oh.
Hello.
Is this on? I don't know. Okay.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm a sophomore student body at large representative. And as much as I agree with what everybody said so far, I think our role as senators and executive officers and justices should be taken seriously. I'm not saying that just because we fail a class, it's not serious. I'm saying that we have an expectation to be met, and this expectation goes for everyone. So if we choose to suspend this article just for one semester, I feel like it's just for one reason, not for everyone in general. People do make mistakes. People fail classes, people make C's, but I just don't think it's fair that this motion is to be made just for one individual and not the whole, because this is just applying for the semester, or it could be the full year. I'm not sure what is being decided. Because I mean, we've had, I'm sure, this is my first time being a senator, but I'm not sure how long this GPA standard has been around for SGA. Has it always been around?
For the Zoom, sorry. It's been cycled out for a couple years. I think about after speaking with Ona Tolliver, I think he said when she was the advisor, they voted to change it to be higher. Yeah, so that was maybe 10 years ago. Yeah.
Consistent to just be able to vote on it day of first meeting and just keep going back and forth. I think we should just change it and make it a higher grade point average so it's just fair for everyone for years to come. It just doesn't make sense to me that one individual will just be able to have that free pass, I guess, for the semester. I'm not saying, you know, mistakes are made, people make mistakes, and grace should be given, but I just don't feel like it's fair for the whole body. But that's just my opinion.
Um,
Suspended before, and yes, it has been suspended before. I don't entirely know the circumstances surrounding it at that time, but I believe should be that date up there, December 31st, 2021. But I would like to kind of address your concern, because I hear you. And my vision for student government has always been to make it accessible to everyone, whatever that means. So if that meant we all were a 2.0 GPA, because that's really where the line, you actually start to have like academic issues that, you know, would overtake your duty as senators, justices, or executive board members, I would love to see that. The reason I stated suspending it for, you know, the semester period was to give us time to work on a amendment that is in depth and really, you know, encompasses what we want the amendment to be. I can kind of explain what my vision of that amendment would be if y'all are open to that. And, you know, we can discuss it kind of at this time. My vision is that it's not a hard line cutoff because not all, you know, GPAs are created equal. 3.5 in one major is different than, you know, a 3.5 over here or a 2.5 or, you know, whatever the GPA may be. Yes. Yeah, of course.
So if I, as a senator or anybody else, were in the same situation as she was or she is, could we come up to a general body meeting and ask for the amendment to be suspended at any time or at any time of the beginning of the semester? And that could go for anyone. Okay.
Yeah. So this is something that, at least as, you know, I've been here a long time. I don't really recognize any faces in this room at this point. The only one that's been here since I've been here is Josh, funnily enough. So that's to say I've never seen this come up the way it has. So it is a very unique circumstance. But my vision, if we were to suspend and amend, or if we were to amend tonight, would be that it's not a hard line cutoff because we don't know the circumstances. All we know is we see, oh, you need a 2.5 or a 2.0 and you're at a 1.99, a 2.49, or, you know, whatever it is. And that's it. And it's a hard red line. So my vision is that this is something that goes before the judicial board. Similar to, I'm a Greek life member, I'm in Alpha Tau Omega. We have a judicial board as well. It's run a little bit differently. It's like comprised of like the executive officers as opposed to, we have a separate board. But in that judicial board, we do a number of things. We do financial judicial boards, academic J boards, and I'm mainly going to touch on the academic because should anyone slip below the line, they have the chance to come tell their story. And, you know, sometimes it's a, you know, kind of a understandable thing where, hey, I've been having these issues lately. I'm really working to resolve them. Or sometimes it's just, I haven't been doing my homework. Those aren't equal at all, I don't think. So we offer remedies. And that could be a, hey, you know, we're going to review you again in a month or 2 months or, you know, a couple weeks or whatever, and kind of look at what is your plan for success and have you been following it? And not necessarily did you meet the goal of your plan, but have you made progress? And that's really one of the biggest things. And I mean, even in nursing, that's a thing. If you know, fail a class, you do have to have meetings about it. You have to kind of talk about why to some extent, do a little bit of reflection, and they try and set you up for success and try not to send you blindly in for round two. So whether that is a 0.25 or like a 0.5 below line that we set that at, or there is no line. That is, up for discussion, or well, all of this is up for discussion, but that is my vision of this. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, of course.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. I'm Senator Larsonaire. This is my first year on the student government, so it's great to see everybody. And I was here for the first meeting, and kind of went over. I got to see it all and hear it all, and I completely agree that things happen. And I've been in tough spots, and I mean, I think everyone has a story, which is hard because to build, I guess, some credibility on my part, I work full time and I take 21 hours here. I also have a 4.0. See that for me, some people hate that, love that, and everyone has hard things. My life has not been perfect. I've had to move 3 times, 3 different states, multiple households. So I'm not standing up here saying I'm perfect. Everyone goes through really hard stuff, but I think unfortunately what it comes down to is following our constitution or not, because if we're going to change the rules for every small thing or big thing, whatever it may be, then why have the constitution? And I hold nothing against our treasurer, and she's done an amazing job, and I am not doing it on any account other than I think it's important to follow the rules we've made. And so yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm MJ. I am a freshman, and can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm a freshman senator. I just wanted to say from my side of it, I do think that there should be a grace for it. Whether we decide to, we talk about it, we decide to give everybody like a one-time grace period for it, or whatever it is, because I know personally things happen. A week before classes started, I was in a car accident, so I was off the first week recovering. The second week, I got COVID halfway through the week, and I've been sick off and on. So I know that right now, if we were to look at my grades, I wouldn't be allowed to sit in the room and take part in the conversation. So, like, I do think that there's circumstantial stuff. And then, regardless, I think that we should be able to talk about something where there is a grace period because life does happen. Standardized testing is different for everybody. That's always been a big issue to me. So I just think that it should be something that we definitely are able to give people grace for because we are human. We are all living for the first time, and we should be taking that into account.
I was gonna say something real quick. Yes. I was just gonna say something real quick. But I think something important to think about is um, as we grow as an institution and as we change and as the faith-based and student government change, you really need to think, are we adapting the rules of our constitution to fit how we proceed in meetings? I don't think our constitution should ever be a barrier for how our meetings go, although it is a guideline, it shouldn't be a strict force that stops us from ultimately doing what is right. I think that this whole conversation shouldn't be focused on one person, and I think that going forward, to think of it as will this affect every single person who enters this room, and if it does, will it affect them for the better or for the worse?
Him, and then I'm coming to you.
Hoping that this is on. Is it? It is? Okay, cool. Nice to meet everybody. My name is Senator Taylor. I'm a general business major. I thought I should give some background for everybody before I get to talking. I'm a general business major and I'm going to medical school, hopefully. So it is super non-traditional. I have a unique outlook on everything in my perspective. As we stand here today debating this motion for discussing our Constitution and everything, I would like to point out that it has been suspended before. None of us have been here for that. So while it has been suspended before, I think we should take this case on its own merits. And I think there are different ways to go about this, like either suspending the Constitution or amending it, because I think a 2.7 is a good GPA cutoff. But if you have a 3.4 GPA cutoff for the degree field that you are pursuing and the degree field that you are going into, it's taking a holistic approach at the person that we are being involved with. So for medical school, I know a lot of people have like a 3.3, but their test scores for the MCAT, which is like the test to get in, is crazy good. It's 99th percentile. So if they have a low GPA and they have a crazy test score, or a 3.4 nursing GPA, which is a really good nursing GPA to get into nursing school, I think that amendments should be there, like instead of 2.5, 2.75 minimum, or a degree plan specific of a 3.0 or above. Amendments like that to our Constitution should help our student government executive board to allow us to rework and dedicate our time to the student body as a mass at UT Tyler. And I'm a first-time senator. I do not know anything. I just campaigned. That's the only contribution I have made to SGA so far. And our treasurer has had experience. So I want all the help we can get for this semester, for this year, because she has obviously done this before, and I need all the help I can get. So, yeah.
Then you.
Senator Meyer, can y'all hear me? I don't know if this mic is on. Okay, I just want to start by saying, based off what Victoria said and some of the questions, I do agree that we should shift it off of one person, but I do feel as if the way it was brought to us was brought as one person. So I do see what everybody is saying about how we're trying to change things for one person, which I know that's not you guys' intention and that y'all do want to focus on the future. But the only way to do that is start shifting it towards the future and not trying to bring it in as something that we need to do right now, like the amendment. Okay, that's cool. So let's focus on future, how we can do that and get that done for everybody. And like the way that it's explained is we're going to suspend it for this semester, and the amendment wasn't brought up at that point in time. So I do see like people who are joining for the first time and they missed the first meeting, they weren't understanding that part. But I do want to say, I understand times are hard. I lost two very close friends my first semester of nursing school this summer. So that was really rough for me. I've had a lot of stuff go on, more than just that. On top of that, and nursing school, I am now level 2. I did get through that. But times are hard. I didn't get in my first 2 tries, and I tried again. And I had to deal with everything with that. So I just want to say, I know times are hard. I do have empathy for that. I'm a very empathetic person, but as SGA, we are one of the most, I don't want to say like higher organizations, but we are a very valued organization. And I feel like we do need to take our Constitution seriously, but changes can be made to the Constitution. And I do agree that changes do need to be made, but I feel that they need to be made future wise and that we need to start trying to move forward and not pinpointing it towards either one person or right now. We need to figure out how we can change that for everybody for the future. And that's it.
Vice President Page. Maybe? Hello? Okay. Vice President Page, I just want to make a quick little clarification real quick on 2 things, because to kind of explain the nursing GPA, that's scored against our sciences. We have to maintain above a 3.0 to keep our, I don't remember if it's 3.0 or higher, or what the higher one is. Okay. I'm just gonna say 3.0, 3.25, 3.5. We got to maintain above a 3 point something to get into nursing school with our guarantee. They're not calling it that anymore, but that's our guarantee. So that only includes like our AMPs, our patho, physiology, our micro. I don't think I'm missing any major classes. Those are the chemistry. that was the class that I failed my exams in. I was not very good at chemistry, I'm not gonna lie. The other clarification I would like to make, because I know it is jarring that this is, the first thing that we're talking about in the semester. Over the summer, we have something called e-board retreat. It's a day that we all get together and we talk about our personal goals and our role, our goals for each other, how we want to work together, what do we want to see out of the Senate as a whole. And about halfway through the day, Allison was informed and came forward to us and informed us of the issue at hand. And we decided at that time that it was not our place to decide and that should lie with the Senate. That's why I know it's jarring and it seems very random and sudden, but we decided that it was not our place to decide on one of our members on a change that frankly could affect everybody. There have been very few constitutional amendments since I've been around. I don't even remember what were you present for the last one, Victoria? Maybe. I'm not sure. It has been a while. Constitutional amendments are a big thing, but we've always tried to do them for the best reasons, whether that's accessibility or giving, more power to the student body or really just trying to grow our organization as a whole. I'm going to pass the mic now. You have some? Yeah, Precious, and then, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Did I hear my name? Is it my turn? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can anyone?
you can go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, great. All right. Kendrick Morris, or Senator Morris, the School of Nursing. I want to echo some of the sentiments that, or some of the comments that Senator Myers said. Vice President Page, you talked about chemistry. I did enjoy chemistry, and often when we have a chain reaction, somewhat like what is going on now, sometimes it takes one enzyme that can act as a catalyst to set off a massive reaction. And when I think about the history of amendments and changes for to find the best way to govern a body, it's often started off with one person, one situation. Maybe that person knew the rules and was able to enact or put something in motion, but nevertheless, it served as a catalyst that then caused a reaction that brought something that was good for people in the future. And so I agree with Senator Meyer that we the way it was presented last week or initially was that it was for the sake of one person. But my thing is, if what we do for one, we should look down the road to see how we can help those in the future. And so I am all for making an amendment that will look something like if a senator at large on the J board or the E board is in a situation like this, that we have something in our Constitution that will be able to look at them as the unique individuals they are with their unique circumstances. I am 47. Yes, I'm that old. I'm 47 years old, two kids, one 23, 20. My daughter works at the Wellness Center at UT School of Nursing. She's going to apply to the nursing school in the summer. My son is there at UT. I've been married for 23 years. Okay. This is my second degree. I came over into nursing and I drive back and forth to the Longview campus. Yes. So that means for my clinicals, I get up at 3 to leave by 4 to be there by 5 to be on the unit by 6. Um, and so we all have a very unique situation. And I believe that something should be in our Constitution because if this situation occurs again, because those who are here, we are here because we want to serve and we want to serve the best interests of our university. So if we have something in our Constitution that says if this should happen, maybe they can go before board, maybe they can, present their case, maybe they can be reviewed, and then we as a Senate or as a student body can vote whether or not we feel that we should move forward with that. I'm all for that because that focuses on the future or the betterment for others down the line in the future. Thank you for your time.
Kind of to add on to that, basically what he did, I'm kind of introduce a little bit of like my background. I was an undergrad student for 2 years. I'm in pharmacy school now. The way the transition works from undergrad to pharmacy, I'm considered a grad student now, but I don't have a degree. And I say that to say that my GPA, the way like my GPA for my school works, my undergrad GPA zeroed out once I started pharmacy school. Even though I don't have a degree, I'm still grad student. And I'm kind of saying that to say that we're talking about this not being fair for all, but technically, as it stands right now, it is not fair because it should have a clause that pertains to each school. For example, if you were to weigh my GPA, accounting for like she did, I took Calc 2 my first semester, was the ugliest class ever. And if you add that into my GPA now, I'll probably need a review as well. So I'm just saying personally, I feel this is not fair for each college, given that there are situations, like he said, looking at it on an individual base, there's situations that make you unique. Another thing I wanted to add is that, and no disrespect to any major, but we have seats for like med students and pharmacy students. A med student's GPA would not be the same as an undergrad's GPA. For like a grad student, minimum I need is a 2.0 to stay afloat. But in undergrad, you may be shooting for like 3.0. A 2.0 may seem realistic to some people, but a 2.0 in my program is like it's the best thing that can ever happen to you. So I mean, I say that to say that, looking at the numbers, we don't look at it like, oh, 2.0, why can't a student get a 2.0? But there are other factors in people's life that account like that add up to that. There are different rigors and different programs, the different life situations. Some people have kids, families, other things going on. So I don't think a specific number defines somebody. Personally, I've seen people with lower performing grades in school do way better in the actual job setting. I've seen 1.0, 2.0, people that just cruise through college, go out and they have more practical skills, social skills. Failing kind of helps you know what doesn't work. If I were to get a 4.0 throughout my whole time in college, I'll go out into the world thinking that I know everything and there's no need to grow. But being able to fail, get around 2.0, 1 point something, you learn that, okay, this didn't work. I need to study better. But if you just went through school and you passed all your exams, would you see a need to grow at that point? So like, I think that suspending this would be the best thing because it gives us the opportunity to then go back, make an amendment that makes it more realistic for each college and their program. And also, like Senator Morris said, a clause in there that puts like a probational period. If said senator did this, then we would review, they would present their case, something like that. We would have a system that works to allow us to review and see what's the next course of action for them. So that's my take on that.
No, it should just be on.
I think we need to.
It should just. Oh, it is on.
Hello.
There it goes.
Okay. My name is Senator Seeley, and I think we need to think about fairness, right? There may have been other people who might have had under a 2.75 GPA, just as capable for the position, who might have wanted to run, but they weren't able to run, right? So it's unfair to suspend it. I do think there's an argument for lowering or even getting rid of like the GPA requirement or like lowering it to 2.0 across the board. But I do think it would be unfair to suspend it.
I saw. Okay, I'm gonna go this way first. I saw precious. Then I'm gonna like zigzag. And you ought to have like a buzzer.
Senator Tiocha, to kind of address that comment, I don't think you can look in the past and then say making an amendment is not fair to previous things that happened. Even when you look at like the American government, things change all the time, and we don't equate it to, oh, in 1950 that wasn't fair to them. We have to look at it on like looking at today. Making this amendment affects the future. Yes, maybe people in the past got cut off by this criteria, but we can't say that, oh, changing it is not fair because 2 years ago somebody fell off the GPA. This is an amendment that we're trying to make now. We see the problem, we're looking at it, we're discussing it, we're trying to make a change that's more realistic.
We're gonna go those two and then me right here.
Who raised their hand? You did? Yeah. Is it all already? Senator Goldthorpe here. I'm actually a senior, so I'm like this close to graduating. But I just want to point out, Allie, I appreciate your accountability for taking accountability for. I mean, I've been there. Before I switched to social work major, I was a nursing major and I failed my first semester and it dropped my GPA to a 1.97. One class dropped it to a 1.97. And it took me 4 semesters to get it back up to a even like a 3.0. And that was making all A's every single semester. So I've been there and I know I voted against you last meeting, but you taking accountability for where you were, especially your first semester, it kind of changed my mind about it because I've been there and I'd want grace if I was in your position. So
Senator Ramirez, again, I just wanted to say, like, the way I see it is if someone's not meeting GPA requirements for their degree plan, that's going to affect them with their dean and their career path. So they're going to, I mean, if it's a problem for their career, it's going to affect them regardless of what happens in student government. And I do also think that as long as as not just her, any person in general is fulfilling their duties on student government, I don't necessarily think that that should have a big effect because what happens in here, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and taking responsibilities and doing everything correctly, then like I said, what happens in their classroom is going to affect their career, whether or not it affects student government. So I think that it should at least mostly be kept separate because again, the standards are different for different career paths. So that's
Okay, Senator Meyer again. I do agree with what everybody was saying. I do get it that everybody's career, whatever major, minor, I get it that everybody's GPA standard is different. But we're not a major or a minor one. So just keep that in mind. That's not to say anything about our GPA. I'm just saying that we have different standards, just like every other organization. But I do think that we need to change it. If y'all want to change it and make it specific to every major, that's fine. But like, let's do that moving forward. I'm not saying like don't suspend all 3, but I'm just saying like I keep emphasizing on future because if that's what you guys are trying to do and help everybody, then that's what we need to be focused on. I feel like we're wasting a lot of time passing the mic around to talk about this one person and this one thing, and we're not really talking about what we need to do moving forward. So I'm thinking if we're going to suspend it, if we're not going to suspend it, that's cool. If we're going to start planning an amendment, like I just kind of want to start talking about the amendment and what that's going to entail. So that way people can kind of get an idea of where their heads are and what they feel is right. I agree things happen. You know, we all have said that, passed the mic around and have all said that failure is a good thing. Failure happens to everybody. We get it. But what are we going to do now with the amendment? That's kind of where I'm at.
Make one quick thing. No. This is Vice President Page. I wanted to kind of build off Senator. I'm horrible with names. Goldthorpe. That's the one I'm getting tonight. Yeah, I deserve some applause for that. No. Oh, that's even better. I'm horrible at that. I would kind of like to, mention something you said. Like freshman year, it was one class that knocked you down. One of the observations I've had of our executive board and the many, executive boards I've kind of seen throughout my time is that there aren't many that are here longer than a semester, maybe a full term, because they graduate. There aren't many freshmen or sophomore that decide to step up and take on this role. I mean, myself, I'm a senior. I'm graduating in December. I'm not even making it through my full term. as vice president, unfortunately. But this is one of the first times that, these people are going to be sticking around after. It's a huge step and it's like a huge leap almost to do that at that point. And my point being that, for me or for a lot of like seniors kind of in our position, I could take, one class, do poorly, and it won't hit me as hard because I have all this other stuff pulling me up, as opposed to, a freshman or a sophomore who steps in and fails one class because they have half the amount of classes I have. And it's something I kind of want to put out there for reflection, that it is hard to step into this position, especially early on, just because of how, I guess I want to say, careful you have to be, because it doesn't, failing a class does not affect everybody equally.
Senator Sneed. I just want to preface this by saying I am a freshman. I've been at college for like 3 weeks. This could very well be, I'm not good at school. I'm not good at school. This could be me next year. But I want to agree that I think it could be unfair if we suspend it and don't make an amendment. I think that with what she said too, we should move forward and try to make this a bigger change and not about one person. I think if we just suspend it and don't do anything about it, makes it look kind of like I don't know, like a get out of jail free card. I think that would not be good. But I think if we suspend this and make an amendment to help future e-board chairs and J-board and senators and everybody, I think that would be the best course of action. I think that's how we would make it fair, for sure.
Vice President Page, I just wanted to pose a question to everybody real quick, to kind of think about. I don't need an answer right now. I'm going to pass the mic to Senator Odiocha right after. Rather than suspend for the semester, what if we were to suspend for X period, a month, a couple weeks, giving us time to work with each of y'all individually or as a group or whatever that means to format a amendment, because otherwise I think we're going to be here all night. Unfortunately, it is a process, and we want to make sure that we kind of take everybody's view into account. But if we were to propose a time period, not the whole semester, and we either amend or let it stand after that period, I'm going to pass the mic now and then. Okay. Oh, we got two.
Hello, Senator Lubale. Some of y'all don't know me. Last week, like we talked about, if you think we're talking about it at length now, like we talked about it at length last week. I hear what everyone is saying, and like I'm intently listening to what everybody's saying, and I'm receiving everything, because I feel like you can't have an opinion about this without having nuance. Like college is not black and white. Like it's not going to be, everybody's going to do great or everybody's going to do poorly. Like you have to have nuance with your opinion about something like this specifically. And I hear everyone's point of view, and I do agree that we need to hold some sort of standard for senators, justices, e-board, whatever, representatives in SGA. But at the same time, life does happen, and life can be difficult. Like I'm in the military, I work as an EMT here, and I also am like taking classes at TJC and UT Tyler. Life happens to me all the time, right? Life happens to all of us all the time. I feel like we keep talking about this, which I understand why, but I feel like we're talking about it in terms of like suspending it indefinitely or whatever. And I don't think we should suspend it indefinitely. Like I'm glad that Vice President Page like brought up the like hypothetical situation of suspending it for X amount of period of time until we can have the probationary amendment introduced, which that still gives people grace if they had a rough semester or if they just have life going on and happening to them, while also holding ourselves to a set standard, whatever our standard is for whatever position we're in. Because the other people who are like, hey, we're SGA, we can't just be having senators walking around with the 1 point. I do agree with that, but also other people on this side, I do agree that we do need to have some grace for people to understand that. Because if I can speak, if we're going to be completely honest, if somebody does their job so well in SGA, even if they didn't do their job well, as another student to student, I literally don't care about y'all's GPAs. I'm going to be so real. I don't care. But since we are representatives in SGA, we do have to care about our GPAs based on our position that we're in. So the probationary amendment, I feel like should be like we should start talking about that more right now because it allows people to have grace for whatever they're going through, but also holds them to a standard and being like, hey, you got to get it to like we get it, but you got to get it together. That's all I have to say. Okay, bye.
Senator Meyer, again, sorry. Just to add on to that, I do agree. I did have a question on that because I was wondering if this happened to anybody on the e-board, and let's say we say we're going to suspend this for 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks, okay, 2 months. From starting now, we're going to suspend it for 2 months. Okay, we're going to work on the amendment. Are we voting on the amendment that's going to be passed, or how does that process work? Hold on. May lose SGA in a total, or are they still able to be a senator, just not on the e-board?
Speaking into it.
I asked Senator Meyer to repeat her question.
It should be on.
Hello? Is that good? Okay, yeah, I was just asking, I forgot, shoot. Okay, say if we suspend the amendments, we take a vote today, and we decide that we're gonna suspend the Constitution or this part of the Constitution for weeks or months, to give you guys time or us time to work on an amendment, focus on future everybody in the Senate and making it fair, changing it how we see fit. Um, is that possible to just do that and do the 3 week and then work on the amendment until then and then have it lifted? And then I asked if this happened on anybody in the e-board, if would they still be allowed to be in the Senate or do they have to drop SGAs at all?
Okay. So to answer your first question, that's definitely possible. So in the past, what Rules Committee has traditionally done is focus on a specific section on the Constitution to work and amend to. They create a presentation and then they bring it to Senate, and then the Senate votes. It has to be, I believe, 3/4, 2/3. So 2/3 simple majority vote. And then after that is passed by the Senate, it goes into approval by our advisor, Josh. And then after that happens, it goes to the vice president of student success. And then she has to approve it. And after that approval has been made, it can be officially published and we can use that constitution for how we run things. To answer your second question, so yes, it's possible. So as long as she meets the GPA, like the membership requirements in Article 1, any e-board member could step down from their position and become a senator. They just have to meet these requirements. So they'd have to have an open seat in their constituency to represent someone.
Vice President Page, I would just like to clarify, like, kind of why I threw out a month initially. And we're going to talk about it later in this meeting. But we have midnight breakfast coming up in 2 weeks. It's very hectic, unfortunately. So this is, I think, the soonest we've ever had a midnight breakfast. So it's kind of been very controlled chaos prepping for it. That's just why I kind of threw out that number. But it is, just context. Hold.
Senator, I think we're all getting tired of this lengthy discussion. So I think the next thing is to move towards just voting on it. Kind of what we're saying with the 2 to 3 weeks. I spoke with Josh Neat or Advisor Neat. It's not going to be enough time to make an amendment in 2 to 3 weeks. She says the hope to take to get it done. So before I create the motion, kind of what I want to explain is that what I'm going to motion for is I think we should suspend it to December 31st. And then it gives us time this semester we have to discussion about this. Then 2026. Yeah.
Toss this around.
Hello, everyone. Senator Bergar here. My question is, how long does it take to create an amendment? How long?
Okay. I kind of. That's like 4 weeks. That gives us for midnight breakfast to put our focus on. Frankly, right, kind of split between we have Constitution Day tomorrow, actually. A breakfast, which if y'all have never been to midnight breakfast, y'all, it is my favorite event of the year. It is the largest student-led event. We like to say it's the largest event. It's incredible, but it is a large undertaking, especially on the timeline that we were given. So that month period or either a week or 2 weeks after the amendment to put a full focus on, or no, sorry, not after the amendment, after midnight breakfast to put our full focus on the amendment, as opposed to kind of being, trying to split power right now. That senators are, able to for this process. I would encourage possible to join so that everyone gets their input. And it would kind of be actually options. Verbiage A, B, C, and you're voting on, do you want A, B, or C? We might, take a little bit of feedback at that time to like tweak some fine tune some details if like you want like a 2.7 instead of 2.75, stuff like that. But we try and do, as much of that amendment process outside so that we can bring solid options to you and then just do like the fine tuning inside.
Senator Goldthorpe, I think a lot of us are wondering this. So, say we suspend it for a month, so that gives us 2 weeks till after midnight breakfast. We get an amendment passed, but the time has ran out. Would that affect her? Would that affect anybody? Or could we extend it? Or how would that go?
The meeting, like the day that it expires, we'll say. So like we would, we'll say a month from now, 4 weeks. So 4 Tuesdays from now, on that Tuesday, we either decide the amendment and we put it in place and, should our member be able to, like, they meet the requirements of the amendment, they remain an e-board member. Should they not meet the requirements of the amendment, like they still, were to fall under, they wouldn't be an e-board member anymore. They could step down, be a senator in a special election. Or if, y'all decide that we don't want an amendment or we don't like the options presented at that time, or we just, can't really come to a conclusion, we could vote to suspend and extend it, or we vote to do nothing. And is written now will stand. Yeah. Oh, you don't like this?
Senator Lubale, to go off what Senator Otiocha was talking about, I think because I'm a little confused, so I guess I am asking him directly. if you wouldn't mind clarifying, so like you were suggesting to leave this suspended until the end of this semester, this current semester, and then come next spring of 2026, we would like start talking about the amendment, like because how if we're leaving this until December 31st, we'll be on break for like a month. So like when would we ever talk about the amendment, what we want, what we don't want? Like it would take longer and can like I think that's where I'm confused.
Clarification on the date.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Senator Churchill. So kind of what to clarify that, suspended to December 31st, but in the meantime, we're going to discuss on the amendment. We can't amend the Constitution until we decide on whether we're going to keep it or suspend it. Last week we talked about amending, but we couldn't amend it until we decide whether we're suspending it or not.
We're going to amend the Constitution. It. Time. Yeah, that if we were to do that right now, we could amend the Constitution right now, but it's going to be a longer discussion, which is why we typically like to bring roughly formed options or ideas to the Senate. And I don't mean, like we as in the e-board, but the Rules Committee, Chief of Staff, senators as a whole, bring options so that we can kind of narrow down the discussion a little bit. But yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Senator Meyer. Okay, so I'm hearing everything. Okay, so y'all basically just said if we don't suspend it, it's going to take a lot longer, right? To amend it, to make an amendment. Okay, so
As in like this meeting is going to be.
oh, you're talking about the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Misunderstanding. And we wanted to amend it tonight. All that here tonight. So rather than dividing up this effort among period here pretty late, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. So can we not suspend it for 2 months? I just feel like December 31st is a long time, one. Two, we're going to be out of school. So that leaves, we're not going to be talking about it again until, like she said, until the next semester. And then that leaves at the beginning of next semester, the first meeting, we're going to have to start addressing the amendment again. And if there's tweaks that we need to make, we're going to have to start making those. And then we're going to have to get those approved. And then that's going to be pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then we also have special elections, if I'm not wrong, in the spring. So is 2 months not enough time for that? If we're talking.
Should we suspend it for whatever time period and we pass that amendment? It bump in at the time because it's not in out. I said. Okay, potentially yes. So so
So
I think you answered my question. But I'm just gonna ask it one more time just to clarify. We hit the deadline. Whatever date. Yeah. We passed the amendment said that these did through your process. Those members qualify. One final question I would like to kind of do you feel, Senate feel that but I believe like 2 months, we'll call it the November 12th is what they're throwing out over here.
Okay.
We have a meeting on the 11th, day before.
And have this suspended until.
Yeah, and have this time, in which case we could then.
yes.
No. It's
Oh,
not.
okay.
Okay.
Just
Well,
check.
at this time.
Motion to vote.
Entertain. Suspend section 1.2A. No, this is part of the discussion. Yeah, I would like to entertain a motion to vote to suspend 1A of the Constitution until the date of November 12th while we work on forming a amendment. Okay. So at this time, we need to. Pass it over.
Okay.
But a vote yes would be in favor of what was stated. What I said. A vote no would be against a negative. And a abstention would be. Oh, sorry. My bad. I was on. A vote in the affirmative would be that we suspend. Against suspending. And then November 12th. And then the vote would be, it doesn't count. And I would just like to, I don't know, are there any non-SGA members in the back? Y'all three? Okay. Only voting SGA members are voting. So senators. Yeah.
So does everyone understand what they'd be voting on? Okay. All those in favor of suspending Article 1.2 until November 12th, 2025, please raise your hand. Yeah. Oh, 21. Sorry, Kenny.
Don't forget about me.
All those opposed to suspending Article 1.2, please raise your hand. Any abstentions? For against, like opposed or abstention? Sorry to put you on the spot. Okay, that portion passes. Moving, okay. Okay, yeah. Also, I did want to talk about last week's meeting and talk about how well it went, how engaged everyone was in discussion, and how I think the last time we had a recess was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Josh, right? Yes. So overall, I think although our meeting was unconstitutional, we did have good discussion out of it. And I'd like to see this progress further. Okay, going forward, I entertain a motion to
Sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Chief of Staff Burns. I just wanted to come up here and talk about the amendment process real quick. Like, since the vote's already, it seems like we're going to be moving forward with looking for an amendment. And I just want to tell you guys that I want to meet with each and every person in this room to talk about this amendment. I think whether you're on Rules Committee or not, your input matters. And I think that as Chief of Staff is that I'm going to be the one probably kind of spearheading working on this amendment. And for a little background, I spent 3 years in high school in congressional extemporaneous and Lincoln Douglas debate with experience writing policy. So I'm very excited to work on this, and I'm ready to work with each and every one of you about having an amendment ready to go. And I want to hear each and every one of your voices. Thank you.
Sorry, Kenny, can you raise your hand?
Yes. Before we go, I do want to commend you, President Okafor, Vice President Tyler, Vice President Page, and the whole e-board for the way that you guys have handled this. I think for myself, I enjoyed the meaningful discussion and all of the different viewpoints that came forth. And I think it fosters trust in the leadership of our student government because of your transparency, even not allowing last week's meeting to stand so that we could abide by our constitutions and that the process would be totally democratic and hearing and considering and weighing the voices of our student government at large. So thank you for that. Thank you that this wasn't something that was done behind closed doors or just with the intentions of a few, but bringing it to everyone and handling it in the manner that you did. I like to say instead of, time has been far spent, I think the time that we have spent on this has been well spent and that we've grown from it as a student body at large. Thank you again.
Thank you, Kenny. With that going forward, I entertain a motion to close last General Assembly discussion. Okay, that was carried in second. All those in favor of closing last General Assembly discussion, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Thank you. Abstentions, please raise your hand. Okay, passes.
If you want to do that.
Just change this to one to match it.
Well, then they can be on at the same time.
So they were both on the same one at the same time before when they're on Mota. But you want to make it to where we stop.
That's the channel. That's the 483.
We got 523.
Yeah, see, so they're on different channels.
When I change this one to one, let me just use that method.
Okay.
Hey, get that all. I'll be in a minute.
Video.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Oh,
They can hear us. They're just not talking. Yeah.
okay.
They can hear us. Yeah.
Okay. Did. Yeah, that was carried second. Hey guys, I'm Treasurer. Whoa, let me hold that a little further. Does that sound a little better? Like, or is it? We're gonna go real fast with this, okay? But if y'all have questions, let me know. So next, please, who I am. I think we have a good idea of who I am at this point. So we are going to move away from that slide and then quick overview of what I'm talking about with you guys today. It's going to be the SGA C goals. That's the committee that I run. It's basically where we have the opportunity to give students $500 per semester, student organizations, $500 per semester to do whatever they wish, like for the student body at large. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that, and if you're interested in joining my committee. And then we'll also be talking about the 25-26 budget as a whole as well for fall specifically, because that's what we're voting on today. That's why I'm up here talking to you guys. And then Senator Focus, which is you guys, I'm going to be talking about the tabling opportunity I'll have over the fall and in the spring, but we're talking about fall right now. So let's just kind of get into that. If you would like to read, please do so now. We're going to continue forward. So budget breakdown, we were allocated $28,959 for the entire year. And then for SGA events, which is going to be what we are a part of, that was, I broke that down for us to have, nice. Okay. Yeah, so I broke that down for us to have $17,808 in the SGAC, which once again is that committee that you guys had the ability to join, which is those student organizations. I gave them $10,000. So that gives those organizations $500 each for those who choose to participate so that they can help the student body too within their organizations. We're going to be looking at fall. Yes, no, let's continue. It's okay. So we're going to be looking at fall here. The semester budget is $13,904.05. And then if you'll look to your left, we have an emergency fund. No, my left, so you're right. Sorry, I am sure that y'all are forgiving for that mistake. Okay, so I have an emergency fund. Last year, we kind of fell into like a little bit of an issue where we went over the budget, and that was like a really big deal. And so to compensate for that and for that to not happen again, because we are futuristic people who are looking towards the future, I allocated $575, which is basically anything that we have left over towards the emergency fund.
So midnight breakfast, which is September 30th, I allocated $5,479.50 to marketing, which is like t-shirts, all that good stuff, all that fun stuff. For SGA is going to be 1,300, and then senator projects are going to be 500. Tabling is 1,325, and then I know it's kind of very small, but if you squint, yep, that works too. You can see the constituency total is $1,125, and then per constituency, which means per college that you are affiliated with, you get $75 to use for your tabling. And then travel, of course, is going to be, in there just in case, and I put in $300. And then just in case y'all are curious, the fall SGA budget is $8,904.50, like I stated earlier, and SGAC is allocated $5,000. Okay. My goals as treasurer, just to encourage senators to take advantage of their senator tabling. Y'all have done such an amazing job at talking and really getting your voice out there. We can tell that as an e-board, y'all value your position a lot, and we really do admire that. And so, another really good way for y'all to get out there and express what it is that you're participating in. This isn't just a Tuesday group who meets and talks fancy. We do important things, and so you can participate in senator tabling should you choose to do so, and then you'll just come to me and be like, hey, Allie, I need money, and I'll be like, okay, I see you. So there's that, and then lastly is just to advocate for a positive and progressive environment, which we're already doing, so yay, that's so exciting. So what is senator tabling? Because when I was a senator, this was proposed to me, and I had absolutely no idea what that was. And so me and former Senator Burns actually went to the former treasurer and submitted a tabling request, but we got it in too late. So we weren't even able to do so at our colloquia, which is totally fine. But it kind of goes to show that there really wasn't a lot of advocacy for it, and more so that we didn't really know what was going on with that. So senator tabling is basically the three goals that I'm sure you've read. Creating an opportunity for you to express your interests for your constituents, as well as solidify an environment where your constituents can voice their concerns regarding the college you're affiliated with. That is really huge. You guys are the pillar for your college. Like, you need to be asking people, hey, are you okay? What needs to change? Who do you like? Are you having issues with anything? You are the voice, you are the light. And I want y'all to know that, and I want your constituents to know that. And then goal 3 is just to shine a light on Student Government Association and have fun. So, nope. Oh, well, yeah, let's just take a look at the numbers really fast. No, go down the same slide that I've been talking about. Okay, yes. Like I said, I allocated senator tabling for a total of $1,325, and then the constituency total, which means every senator gets a total of $1,125. And then if you were to divide that evenly, assuming that absolutely every single one of y'all wanted to come together individually, as in tabling for your college, you'd get $75, which is super awesome. And then the classification total is $200. So that means if you're representing freshmen or you're representing sophomore, et cetera, you get $200 to collaborate as a classification group and spend $200 and have fun with your people. So moving forward, that is all. That's my contact information for you, just in case you have any concerns you'd like to write to me. And then the last slide is just questions. Who has a question?
Senator Cogan, regarding the senator tabling for the classification total, is that for freshmen through seniors or for each grade?
Thank you. That is an absolutely amazing question. I'm glad you asked. It is for the classification as a whole, which means in total, the freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior classification gets to spend $200. The reason for that is because we was collaborating with some of my executive here that it would be most beneficial and most practical if y'all got and necessary in regards to your tabling. I feel like having just one person, sitting in the UC and leaving their hands, like, if you're a freshman, come talk to me. I think that's kind of awkward and I'm not trying to speak for failure. And so when thinking about that, when taking into consideration, I decided to allocate $200 towards the entirety of the classification.
So, sorry. Where do housing representatives fall in the classification? Is that like, do we fall into the budgeting for that or do?
So, we're very that category. So that means that if you're a part of CP, 75. Eight things, y'all. It's just a hypothetical year. So this money isn't used all the way. And while didn't decide to do tabling, I think always something you have to see fit. We would vote on it. So hey guys, just yeah. And $75. Questions? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And abstentions, please raise your hand. Okay, that passes. I should say discussion to it. All those in favor to discussion, please raise your hand. Okay, and okay, abstentions. Okay, that passes. Should to talk about the SGA. Sure. Okay. That was second.
That's me. That's me.
Okay. Okay. Is it doing that? Okay.
Share the screen.
I will. Okay, so this is current. T-shirt. So this is a T-shirt that we to breakfast, possibly to all the.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not right. That's one of those. In the. I don't have a picture. You can have those. I took a picture of your screen. You have the design. You know the design. The next one. Okay. Yeah, we can all take this, we can all work on t-shirts.
And should discussion t-shirts. The balls sub discussion sheet t-shirts, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Good. Opposed? Please raise your hand. Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Should talk about t-shirt. Okay. Okay, that was Kevin seconded. So as she is now tasked with shirts to look like basically services entirely partner she for down have to kind of so we kind of have a Qualtrics, sorry. Qualtrics for can you hear us now? Yeah. Okay, my bad. So we have a Qualtrics for which designs we want to do. Okay, so this is the first one, and it'd be like front and back.
These are created by
The students sent it in for it. Sorry, I'm gonna have to get used to this. And then this is another design. And that one doesn't have a back. Then there's this one. And then there's this one. Then there's this one. And then this one. And then we have this one. Okay, so do we have any feelers for like what you guys like, or just start talking?
Senator Mubale, for me personally, definitely not this one. I'm so sorry. Like, I liked everything else basically. Definitely not the last one for me. Five. I liked everything else but the last one.
I like option 5, like shows the unique.
5 is
Yes, yes. Okay.
I like 5.
I like 5.
5 is cute.
Everybody else.
5 is cute. 5 and the other one was the tree. I like that one too. Return offer. Sorry. I was just gonna say that I really like option number 6. That's probably my favorite. I like that it has the pond in the building in the back. I think it's really cute. So yeah, that's my take.
Senator Sneed. I think that the first one is real cool. I think it's like sleek, and I like how it uses the plants from East Texas. I think that's a real creative design, and I like that it's like a little simple, but it still looks cool. So that's all I got to say.
I'm getting there.
What? We can vote.
I think to basically vote as one, I guess. It's who like the last one. Yeah. Yeah.
Fortunately, they kind of just want a what does SGA support type of vote, I guess, and then we can of course like send out the Qualtrics as well, so that everyone can personally vote. But like as a whole, what is our we want this one or yeah. That's my understanding at least. That was my question a minute ago too. Yeah.
The Senate can also vote.
Y'all as the heads of it instead. Just take their images and put it into your own Qualtrics. Okay.
Senator Harvey, I believe we should do option six, because it can represent Harvey Lake. That's like in the middle. Everybody knows the lake, right? So I think it represents it.
I think option 5 is really nice because it shows the bell tower, which everyone knows the bell tower. I think it just looks really sleek, and at the same time, still has that cartoony little vibe. And I love like the path because it's like the path to greatness or like the path to UT Tyler, but we are all full of trees. I don't know. I just think it's really cute.
Me? Okay. Okay. Okay, can y'all? Henny, can y'all hear us? Ivy?
Barely. It's going in and out really, really bad.
Same here.
Did you say that again?
I just heard you for like the first time. It's like been going in and out. Couldn't hear you for the last like couple of minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about t-shirt voting and we were scrolling through and seeing which one we liked best. Do you guys have a preference? So 1 and 2 go together, and then this is 3, and then this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, and this is 8.
I like 5.
Was 5 the like the branch? Let me see what 5 was.
This one. This is 5.
4. I like 4.
5, 4. Okay, option 6 is what passed.
Okay, so 6 is, it looks like 6 is what passed.
Okay, 6 sounds good to me then.
A motion to talk about midnight breakfast.
Uh, might talk next to them. That'd be easier. Yeah. I'm just gonna talk next to the laptop. All right. Yeah, y'all met me. My name is Tyler Page. I'm the vice president. You know, my whole thing. We all run different committees. Mine is events, and our biggest event is midnight breakfast. So, you know, as I've said, we are kind of on crunch time. This is one of the earliest ones we've ever had. So I will encourage each of y'all to join the events committee, please, because I'm going to be asking for a lot of help in the coming days. If you've never been to midnight breakfast before, it's kind of featured by a couple of different things. Of course, the breakfast, we typically have either pancakes or waffles, sausage, some type of like alternative bacon, so that we, you know, kind of cover all the bases, and some eggs. That's hosted by Sodexo. I emailed them just the other day to try and get a quote. Haven't heard back from them yet, but I will be meeting with them soon, hopefully, whenever they let me know, whenever they are available. The next thing is obviously our t-shirts. I like to say they're one of the most coveted items on campus. We never have quite enough, unfortunately, but it gets people to show up, and I love them, which we'll be showing them to you later. Actually, we might be showing them to you now. We might just cover both the bases here. This is the front of our Midnight Breakfast t-shirt, and then I want to say the back. Yeah, it's sage green. It might not, look at that right now, but it's gonna be like a sage green. Maddie, love to say she cooked up a storm on this. Yeah. So kind of what I'm gonna be asking of y'all in the coming days are to, if y'all, for one, please join my committee. I have two of y'all right now, Goldthorpe and I think Szilard, maybe Szilard. I think you're in my committee. Yeah. Would love more y'all. But really just start bouncing ideas to me. What do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to see? We're going to be aiming for kind of like a fall festival themed because we're, so early. Typically it's like Halloween, but it's like September 30th, not really going ghosts and werewolves in September. Some of the other highlights, the UC typically does our Stuff a Critter. It's a little stuffed animal. You actually get to stuff it then and there. There's typically like 5 options. They haven't confirmed the options they will be presenting with me yet. I will be doing that later this week, hopefully. Along with this year, we have the UC expansion. I am working with the Greeks to have them kind of take over the upstairs expansion in some format to give them more space because they're always looking to kind of do some big events or something cool, but they're kind of limited to the 6-foot table. So this will put them all together. I'm hoping that they all collaborate to put on a kind of carnival type theme event up there. I'm meeting with them later this week as well. Other than that, we do have like tabling events. We have all types of different student orgs, departments, giving away free stuff or hosting games to win prizes or things like that. So if another org that you are not in has not yet submitted their tabling request, please do that soon. I want to say it closes the Friday before Midnight Breakfast, which I want to say is like the 26th at midnight for those requests. So you got time. Earlier you get them in though, the better I can guarantee. All y'all will be getting t-shirts. This is a required event. Please reach out well ahead of time if there's some reason that you need to miss it, and submit an absence request through Patriots Engage. And I'll kind of be giving y'all further assignments whenever we have more things in stone. Do y'all have any questions about that kind of short, sweet blitz of a explanation? Yes. Yes. Okay.
And I'm gonna ask if I have to work for or with them, would I still have to be at the midnight breakfast with you guys, or do I have to take time off that day with them?
I would say that would be considered like an excused absence because you're going to be at the event regardless. We rely a lot on the UC staff during this event because, oh, awesome, we got 2. Well, y'all are going to be my ins then because I'm going to be talking to both of y'all about setting up these tables. But yeah, it's very much a controlled chaos type of event. It comes together to be something bigger and better every single year. What's up? Yes. Okay. We would like you to focus kind of working on SGA as this is like an event that we're running majorly. So, of course, if you're like the only one available, just come and talk to us on like a case by case basis. We can work something out. But yeah, that's kind of the short and sweet. Also, if you have an org tabling, 2 representatives, that is it. I know that like a lot of organizations like to kind of do shifts so that like everyone can, kind of have time to have some fun, but only 2 representatives will be getting in early for the setup. I unfortunately don't care if you are the people relieving your shift. You are not skipping that line of a couple hundred people just to, go do your shift. We've had that issue in the past. If y'all or any of your orgs decide that y'all want to do multiple shifts, they better be at either the front of that line or accept that they might be a little bit late to the shift. That line does back up quick. I believe last semester we let in about 400 students within the first 15 minutes. And I think our total came out to be just under 800. I'm gonna say that soft, like between 700 and 800. I want to break 1,000. So that's a push, but yeah. Yes. Wonderful question. We will get y'all all into the group me. We can like post the QR code up on the screen like after we adjourn the meeting. Join the SGA group me. That for one, that's where we're going to communicate a lot of stuff outside of meetings in general. My committee and communications committee are both pinned in the group me right now. There's not a lot of messages, but they're pinned, and any other committees will also be pinned shortly. So, just go through there. You are required to, be on one committee. Events committee is, kind of fun. So please join. They're all fun. They're all fun. But we like, make fun things. So. I can attest to the same thing. They're different. So they're really cool though. Okay, that is it for me. I entertain a motion to close midnight breakfast discussion. Okay, here you go.
All those in favor of closing the midnight breakfast discussion, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. And then our next item of the agenda is special elections. So I entertain a motion to speak on special elections. Okay, so we actually have a student here who'd like to join SGA. She's trying to become the senator for the School of Medicine. Radina, would you like to come up? Okay, so a special election is basically ran, so we have elections twice a year. And so those empty Senate seats, anyone can come before the Senate to kind of fill it, and it's called a special election. So basically they'll come up here, give a little spiel about themselves and why they want to be a senator, and then they open the floor to discussion. After you guys have discussed, they'll be escorted out of the room, and then we can freely discuss about whether we want to have them here as a senator or not, and we vote on that. And then as they come in, we clap for them if they become a senator. Sorry, you're gonna hold this.
Okay. Should I use a microphone?
Oh,
or?
this is
This is a microphone? Oh, no worries. Can y'all hear me? Okay. All right. I'm a second-year medical student here at UT Tyler. I currently serve as executive president for the Senate at UT Tyler. And that's how I, met Victoria, and she invited me to come here and kind of become more involved with this organization. Before that, I didn't know about this organization. I don't think a lot of people in the School of Medicine know about it. So that's why I'm here to kind of collaborate between the School of Medicine and then UT Tyler, the university. I'm really passionate about, having undergrad students and other professional schools collaborating with the School of Medicine. So that's why I'm here. A little bit about me. Not sure what you want to know, but feel free to ask me questions. Did undergrad at Rice in Houston, and then I did chemical engineering. Worked in industry for a little bit. Decided, it wasn't for me, and so I'm pursuing medicine right now. So yeah, happy to be here, listening into your conversations. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yeah.
How do you plan on advocating for your constituents as being that middle section for the university and the medical school?
Yeah. So currently serving as Senate President, that involves me creating meetings almost like every other month. And I listen to everybody's concerns. We have like a survey that anyone can send anonymously. And then we don't have too many events with the undergrad campus or other schools. We do have IPE, which is like a mandatory course. But other than that, we don't have that many people showing up to these events. And then if we do events at the School of Medicine, we don't really see a lot of undergrads or any other kind of students. So just to kind of get that gap going, I don't know too much about the funding opportunities that you presented. We'll definitely be in touch with that to figure out maybe if we can do an event or some kind of collaborative effort to get that interest going. I'm sure a lot of us in the School of Medicine would be interested in, mentoring or learning from everybody else here. And so just hopefully looking into funding opportunities, grants, to create maybe events or other kind of opportunities for both things bilaterally. Yeah. Any other questions? Awesome. Okay, I guess I'll go outside.
Thank you.
Closed meeting though, right?
Okay. So, what did y'all think of Radina?
Is you have like a role-playing actor who comes in, we address their problem in the social work aspect and the medical aspect. And she seemed very into what she was doing. Like, you meet those people that just are doing it just to do it, but they don't seem like they're very interested. I will say she seemed very interested in making a difference. So I do think a partnership with the School of Medicine would be beneficial.
I will say I'm not entirely sure if we've had a School of Medicine representative like recently. Oh, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. So it is kind of a unique thing because they're not on our campus. It's like the same thing we never really had distance campus senators like Senator Meyer for Palestine or used to be Kinney for Longview until we did. So it's a very unique opportunity to kind of have these people that aren't centralized on campus and have their perspective. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to have her on board working from the School of Medicine, just because it also, as I'm going into a pre-med degree right now, I think it's very helpful to, like, if there's concerns on campus, we can bring them here and it can get addressed really quickly. Like, we can get more details about UT Tyler's med school. So I think that it would be a really good idea to bring her on.
Cool.
Senator Teocha, I've actually had class with her when med students come on campus to collaborate with us pharmacy students. And I'll say that she has a very bubbly personality, and she kind of is outgoing. So I think it's a good person to have representing School of Medicine, given that she has a good relation with a lot of, especially like in her class, the MS2s. And I'm sure she can branch out and get us some more input from them. I do think it's important to have her represent us because when we make decisions here, like for UT Tyler fees and things like that, it affects them as well, even though they're not on campus with us. And they have accessibility to everything on campus that we do. So they should have a voice in here as well.
Yeah. Y'all can motion to vote if y'all like. Oh, whoever.
Second.
So it'd be
That we vote for her to be the med school representative.
get a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor of stating Radina as a School of Medicine senator, please raise your hand. Thank you. Any opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions? Okay. That passes. As Radina comes in, please clap. Okay, then we'll immediately go into your oath, Berdina. So if you'd please stand. Oh, do you mind standing for the oath? Okay. Just repeat after me. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and the bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of Senator of School of Medicine for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Okay. Is anyone else here for a special election? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the discussion on special elections. All those in favor of closing the discussion, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, perfect. Does anyone have anything to add for new business? It was emailed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're getting in shape here. Yay.
Okay. Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close new business. All those in favor of closing new business, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Okay, and any abstentions? Okay, moving on to committee reports. So SGC met last week and met with two organizations, Minorities in Business, and then I'm blanking on their name. First Generation Patriots, and we approved First Generation Patriots of their event. That was it. And Senator Sallard joined me as well. For SGC, are we meeting Thursday, Allie? At what time? 2 p.m.? Okay. Moving on to student voice reports. Does anyone have anything to report for College of Arts and Sciences? Okay.
Oh. I'm standing in for Senator Orjaka. She reports that she has currently been working to support students as they begin the new semester. Many students are still adjusting to their classes, especially the large number of incoming freshmen. She's mainly focusing on making sure that these students are aware of the resources that are available to them, specifically for meeting with their academic advisors, who are there to help them guide them through the course planning and degree requirements. She's also been working on promoting awareness of the various academic organizations within the College of Arts and Sciences so that students can get involved and build a community with other people a part of similar majors as them. And additionally, she plans to meet with the Dean of College of Arts and Sciences next week to discuss student concerns and explore ways to better connect students with opportunities and support. And I'm also doing nursing. And then also for student report for College of Nursing, Senator Meyer reports that School of Nursing here at UT Tyler for the Palestine campus has unfortunately had two students pass away due to the rough commute to Palestine, due to them having to wake up at early hours of the morning to just be ready for their clinicals. And so she's been working on partnering with apartments nearby the campus that can be allowed to be paid for with tuition, or finding out a way to make arrangements with hotels near the Palestine campus to prevent more accidents in the future. And she will provide an update later in the semester. College of Pharmacy. Penny.
Yes,
Can
I reached out to Dr.
Do you have
Ruel
a
today.
is it student voice report?
If you're
What is it?
Senator Morris, School of Nursing. I reached out to Dr. Ruel today. Her and I have a meeting set for next Tuesday at 2:30, which I'm going to reach out to the other senators. So that'll be Senator Meyer for Palestine, and to see if we can work out a regular time that we will sit down and discuss some of those issues. The issue that was just brought up. Concerning the students that passed away, we're going to bring that up as well. So that is my report at this time.
Senator Teocha, College of Pharmacy, we're rolling. Everybody's getting kind of situated. One of the things we did is after last year's surveys, I'm on the mental health task force in our building. So we've reconstructed our curriculum a little bit to give like reasonable stress to students. It's a doctor program, but we found ways to kind of create gaps in the program where we're not bombarded with classes back to back. And then also this is a little promo, but we do have a scholarship program for students now. We've had it for a little while, but it's kind of reconstructed now. If you have a 3.5, you go to pharmacy school for free. You don't pay for tuition or fees. Kind of how you give back is we have a tutoring program now that's intertwined with that. And you have to tutor up to 40 hours to students. It can be people on scholarship or people not on scholarship, but we kind of made that so that way people are getting the benefits of free tuition and fees while we're also creating ways for people to learn and grow from it. So you aim to try to be on scholarship so you can give back to other people that are on scholarship or are not on scholarship. So if you're in undergrad, biology, chemistry, I will be coming around with I'm working on recruiting now with admins in our building, and we will be going to chemistry classes and biochemistry classes to kind of recruit students to join pharmacy. You don't need to finish a bachelor's degree. You just need 2 years of undergrad and you can qualify to join us in pharmacy. It's a doctorate program and it's good pay when you get out. So think about it. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank y'all for those voice reports. They sounded amazing. Moving on to officer reports. So this past week, I've been kind of working to look into our constitution and see how to reroute that. I also met with those two orgs for SGAC, and I've been getting ready for my trip. Chief of Staff Burns and I will be going down to Austin to represent the University of Texas at Tyler to all for the Student Advisory Council. So basically what that entails is all schools in the UT system will send down 2 representatives to represent their school and kind of set forth recommendations to the Board of Regents. Other than that, it's been kind of stressful with school, but it's almost over. Moving on to Vice President Page.
Okay. Y'all heard most of my stuff. It's been a lot of midnight breakfast. I've been talking to a little bit of senators about last meeting and then, filed my appeal. Other than that, really, Constitution Day tomorrow, and you can see it in the announcements as well. If you're free and you would like to table, it is between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. It's going to be in the UC. If you're interested in getting involved with that, please come talk with me. We're going to do like voter registration, give out like some like USA, like sunglasses, little flag things. It'll be fun. If one of y'all want to dress up in a costume, I have costumes. So, yeah, I need people. Yeah, you look like founders or something like that. Yeah, please just talk to me after. But on that, that's all I got.
Secretary White. This week's been pretty busy for me. I started by making my group me for my committee. So if you are in our SGA group me and you're interested, please join it. It's pinned in the chat. Then I finalized the designs. I finalized the designs for the midnight breakfast shirts, and I also finished up with the SGA Senate shirts. And then I created our first flyer for our Instagram post, and I'm working on getting it the right size and everything to be able to put on the bright screens around campus.
Treasurer Barnes. Yeah, kind of a busy week for me too. I've been making sure everything's nice and solidified for SGAC, which y'all should definitely join if you like talking about money and helping people, because I definitely do. Kind of looking over the budget, making sure everything's good in that regard, as well as the SGAC guidelines, just to make sure that everything is set in stone there as well. But other than that, I have also been focusing on school because I'm sure for a lot of y'all, it's the heat's finally starting to crank for your classes. So other than that, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Chief of Staff Burns, this week it's been very productive trying to prepare for my trip with Victoria, which I'm excited for, and start looking at options for amendments. I think my main comment is that I'd like to meet with each and every one of you about the amendment, and if you'd like to talk about it even further, then please look into joining Rules Committee, and so hopefully we can get that done by November 12th. November 12th. Thank you. Chai. Oh yeah.
Is anyone here for open forum? Okay, seeing none, moving on to old business. We don't have anything for old business, so moving on to advisor comments.
All right, so this is definitely one of y'all's longest meetings in history, but it was done right. And so I do appreciate that. I echo some of the comments that were saying it's better to do things right than just ignore it and move on. So kudos to y'all for correcting that. I do have an announcement. I received an email today that the call for the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board student representative positions and the UT System student regent positions are now open. We have a dedicated webpage on the SGA website that outlines that process as well as the respective applications. It is important to note that we will only be accepting the coordinating board applications this year. The reasoning is we are not eligible next year as an institution to have a student regent because we currently have one at this academic year. So, so if you're interested in that, feel free to check out those documents or feel free to swing by my office and I'm happy to go over that. We need the applications to be turned in, I believe, mid-October. And so, what the coordinating board and the student regent positions are is they are a state appointed position, meaning that the governor of Texas selects one student to represent all college students in the state of Texas on their respective boards. And so the coordinating board deals with higher education matters. And then of course the UT System student regent deals with UT System matters. And so they are fantastic learning opportunities, networking, and then just learning how things work in Texas as it pertains to higher education. So I do strongly encourage y'all to consider it. Ignore those who have been selected in past years. I know it tends to be graduate students in the health or legal side, but undergraduate students have been selected in prior years. And so I always encourage to apply multiple times, but because that could increase your odds. So great, fantastic opportunities. Any questions about either one of those applications? All right. Keep up the good work.
Y'all also don't have to clap for me when I speak.
Okay, for announcements, we have just Constitution Day, which will be tomorrow, from, I believe, 10 to 12, yes. And then midnight breakfast, September 30th, 8 p.m. At our next meeting, we'll be ironing out kind of shifts and what that'll look like. So then our next meeting will be September 23rd, 5:30 in Cobb 180, which has 5 microphones that all work. So that'll be a lot easier. And then also we'll be having parking speaking to us. So feel free to think of some questions you'd like to ask them. Other than that, I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Okay.
Yeah.